Welcome to your next edition of CandleCharts.com Highlights, where we focus on an educational topic or topics. And for this, let me start with one of my favorite technical signals. It happens not to be candlesticks, but you'll see how we'll join it with candlesticks in a couple of minutes. But it's a change of polarity. And you see me, for those of you who are members of my CandleCharts.com uh, uh, member site where we do live market updates and do markets of your choice. When I'm doing that particular section or session, I very often focus on the change of polarity. And just to refresh your memory, what change of polarity is: when multi-tested resistance, you can see this resistance level is twice tested. Once the market breaks above it, that old resistance should become support. So what's good about this is that if you do buy on a breakout, in other words, do a momentum trade, you can place a protective stop under the change of polarity. And of course, this works on the flip side. Although most markets now, because it's been such a strong bull trend, we've been looking at the resistance becoming support. But in down markets, a broken support area, again multi-tested, once broken, should become our resistance area. Now that we have this in the back of our mind, one of the things that we always do here for our trading is we'll always use the Nissen Candlescanner. And I'll give you a link in a couple of minutes to give you a video, so you can go to video and see some special pricing on it. And it'll go over how NCS, Nissen Candlescanner software, which picks out my favorite candlestick signals, has highlighting, scanning, and real-time alerts. We'll very often use it for scanning. In other words, we'll scan through the S&P 500 or say optionable stocks or the forex markets or futures markets and find some of our favorite candlestick signals. Very often we find markets that there's no way we would know about unless we were able to filter through Nissen Candlescanner. And one of my favorite candlestick signals, as you all know, is a window. So one of the things I'll look at when we're scanning is for windows. So let me show you this chart of LVS to show you some interesting aspects about this particular stock and change of polarity and the window. So you can see we have Nissen Candlescanner on. And by the way, the Nissen Candlescanner picked up a bullish engulfing pattern here. See that? Oh, green wrapping around a red. And what was especially positive about this bullish engulfing pattern? It was confirming a support area. You know how much we emphasize a candlestick signal confirming support. And also, just to refresh your memory, a candlestick signal can become support. So notice how this bullish engulfing pattern became support with a series of long lower shadows. So yes, although this was a red real body, the long lower shadow visually showed us the market rejected lower levels. Same thing here. And same thing, this is not a hammer, by the way, because the upper shadow is a little too long. So that's why Nissen Candlescanner doesn't show this as a hammer. Anyway, we had a rising window here, and a rising window, once again to refresh your memory, is when the market gap's higher. But let me show you something interesting about this that NCS picked up in this particular stock, the rising window, why this was such a good trading opportunity. Not only is this a rising window, but let's go back to what I discussed a couple of minutes ago. The change of polarity, resistance, 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 and old resistance becomes support. So the reason this becomes such a good buy or potential buy is we have two reasons for support. Now normally with the change of polarity we'd have a protective stop, in this case under, let's say, 64 and a quarter because of the change of polarity. But in this case we'd have a stop under the bottom of the rising window under 63.50. So essentially you have two reasons for support. You have the change of polarity and the rising window. And the rising window in this market, again, was picked up by NCS. Now notice over here, isn't this a green wrapping around the red? Isn't like down here, green wrapping around the red? But why did NCS pick this up as a bullish engulfing pattern, but not here as a bullish engulfing pattern? Right, the trend was wrong. With NCS, we have proprietary trend indicators to let us know when is a downtrend and uptrend. So this was enough of a downtrend to say this was a bullish engulfing pattern, and obviously this was not a downtrend. And this would keep you from getting into a bad trade, because many candlestick traders who are not familiar with the correct candlestick signals will say, hey, there's a green wrapping around the red, I'm going to buy it, and look out below. So this is why NCS did not have this as a bullish engulfing pattern, and that is a bullish engulfing pattern. But the thrust of this chart is, again, look out for these breakaway gaps where the market gaps above resistance area, because you have the resistance becoming support and the rising window. Now, for those of you interested in finding out more about NCS and the way we use it, we're running a special on the software, and it'll literally save you hours and hours of research time. That's how we use it here. That's the very first thing we all do in our trading. We scan the markets with NCS. This is the link you'll go through. And we now have various subscriptions. We have monthly, annual, or lifetime. And the reason I wanted to give you this update on NCS is because we have a special price and added bonuses that are going to be ending this Friday on the 15th. So thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed our highlights and look forward getting your success stories.